Hello everyone, I'm your host Mariana and you're listening to A Degree Farther, the official podcast of the graduate school at Hood College, where we feature current students, alumni and faculty who are innovators on our campus and in our community. Welcome to a new episode. It's the end of October. I can't believe how fast the time is going. I hope you are enjoying the fall season and preparing for the winter. Today, we have a truly exceptional guest joining us, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have her on the podcast. And she is Dr. Shannon Shoemaker, an accomplished associate professor at Hood College. Her journey through academia and extensive professional experience is nothing short of remarkable. Dr. Shoemaker holds a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and a Master of Education in Counselor Education from Bridgewater State College. Her academic prowess culminates in a Counselor Education and Supervision Doctorate from the Pennsylvania State University. What truly sets Dr. Shoemaker apart is her impressive track record over a decade in the field, where she's made a profound impact within school systems, community counseling services, and in her work with adults, adolescents, and families. Her current focus revolves around couples, tackling relationship issues, fostering sexual wellness, and addressing the complexities of infidelity. Furthermore, Dr. Shoemaker's expertise has transcended borders, as she's shared her insights and knowledge at both local and international counseling conferences. She's not just a participant, but a leader, actively contributing to organizations like ACA, ACES, AARC, ACC, SAGE, and proudly serving as the president of ACSSW. And today she will talk with us about her new position as the director of the new PhD program in counseling. So get ready for a captivating conversation filled with wisdom as we delve into the world of counseling with Dr. Shoemaker. Enjoy it! Good afternoon, Dr. Shoemaker. Thank you so much for being in A Degree Farther. I am so happy to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm equally excited.
Well, as always, we start with our guests talking about themselves. So if you can talk about your career background, about your professional experience, and what brings you to Hood College and what you're doing here.
Absolutely. So I've been at Hood since 2019. I actually just received tenure and promotion, which is really exciting. I've been working as a professional counselor since 2010 and as a full-time professor since 2016. Although I've been teaching at the master's level since 2010 as well. So I've had a lot of experience at other universities and with other counseling programs. I always knew I wanted to work at Hood when I knew I was moving to this area. I wanted to be at a small liberal arts university, and I could see the potential in the faculty and the brand new master's counseling program back at that time to continue the work that Dr. Campbell had put into the program when he built it from the ground up. So that's kind of how I got to Hood.
Wow, that sounds like very exciting. And so you're kind of from the beginning here.
Yeah, I would say I joined the program about 5 or 6 years into its inception, maybe even less, maybe 4 years into its inception. And Dr. Campbell, Dr. Shane, and Dr. Smith had already put a ton of time and energy into the program. They were building something really special and really strong here. And then when they received accreditation, that was another big hurdle. And I joined right after they received KCREP accreditation.
That's amazing. So interesting that you were able to participate in all the process of the program and be like a witness of the evolution of the master. And I can imagine that you learn a lot from that process. And that actually leads me to what we're gonna talk about today, which is the new counseling PhD program where you are the director, and which I am very excited to talk about. So if you can tell us a little bit more about how it works, how it happened, when it is planned to start, and yeah, like everything you can share with us about this exciting program.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to tell you about how it kind of came about. So, the PhD program, which is the first PhD program that Hood is going to have, is in the council is called the PhD in Counselor Education and Supervision. That's the standard doctoral degree in the counseling field. It provides additional experience in clinical instruction and then new information on how to be a supervisor, so supervising master's counselors in training, and on teaching at the master's level, so preparing counselors in training as a faculty of them. So because a master's in counseling is considered a terminal degree, meaning you do not need to have additional schooling afterwards to earn your certificate in school counseling or a license in clinical counseling, people interested in a PhD in counselor ed and supervision would only really pursue it for further clinical training or to become a faculty member. And so that's how we're kind of presenting it to people who might not understand, why would you get a PhD in counselor education and supervision? So when I first heard that Dr. Megan Shane, who was program director at the time, was also interested in building a doc program, I got together with Dr. Eric Messinger, who was also interested in building this in the department. And we began to build it, completing all the documentation to making it happen. And really, Dr. April Bolton, who's Dean of the Graduate School, was key in providing guidance throughout that process of all the information that you need to put something like this together. Thankfully, she has a lot of expertise in building new programs. And so with her guidance, we've really been able to, I think, put something together that's going to be really wonderful.
Can you tell us a little bit more of how the program looks like the format, the structure?
Yeah, absolutely. So all counselor ed and supervision programs focus on clinical work, teaching, supervision, leadership, and advocacy. However, our program is going to be unique because we can offer advanced clinical training in counseling and supervision because of the Neighborhood Counseling Training Center that was started by Dr. Shane, and it's currently directed by our wonderful clinic director, Stephanie Snyder. In that training clinic, our master's level students see clients, both students at Hood and people out in the community. So our doctoral level students will be able to also see clients in the clinic to further develop their counseling skills, but they'll also be supervising master's level students who are seeing clients there, which is the unique opportunity we can provide to our doc students. So they'll be able to do actual supervision, which is a really integral part of a counselor ed and supervision doctoral degree. So that's really exciting. The Neighborhood Counseling Training Center has been a wonderful addition to the master's program and just really positions us well to have a strong doctoral plan with a focus on this clinical work. Um, Also, because the majority of our counseling faculty are engaged in clinical work outside of Hood, we're going to be able to provide even more guidance and firsthand experience in clinical counseling. All of the faculty have specialty areas, either working with first responders, working with couples, trauma, et cetera. And so all of this gives doc students a variety of specialties to consider when thinking about their focus and dissertation. So the structure is going to be a daytime format. We're going to have, it's a full-time cohort program, daytime starting fall 2024. And so classes will probably be late afternoon, early afternoon time block. And that way, that leaves the evenings free for the doctoral students to be able to supervise their master's students or to teach in the evening program, since the master's program here at Hood is in the evening. So that frees them up to be able to teach and follow through with the 3 different clinical internships that doctoral students have to complete for CACREP accreditation. So we're really excited about the cohort model as well. Only taking 6 students this first round, so it's very selective. Program's not going to grow beyond taking 8 students at a time. And that's really to keep the intimacy that the Hood counseling program, even at the master's level, has. We really pride ourselves on providing a lot of one-on-one mentorship. And so we want to make sure we keep that going with the doctoral program.
Just to make sure I heard it correct, the program is going to start from now, like 1 year from now?
Yeah, fall 2024. It's been a pretty aggressive timeline. Again, under the supervision of Dean Bolton, that has been possible. And so the marketing team and IT are just working tirelessly to make sure everything is up and running so that we can begin accepting applications as soon as possible for an early January deadline.
So is there any website that people can already check and revise to apply? Like people can already start applying?
We're just finishing the application process, but there's a landing page where people who are interested can put their interest in there and we can send them some further information. The website is also launched under the Hood Graduate School, and so you can find it there under Counselor Education and Supervision.
Okay, maybe we can put the link of the website in the description of this episode so people that is interested can reach out.
That would be wonderful. We'd love that.
Let's talk about the career opportunities that this program provide to the graduate students.
Sure. So these students are going to be qualified to teach in CACREP accredited master's and doctoral programs upon graduation. Again, because a master's degree is kind of a terminal degree in counseling, meaning you don't have to get further schooling in order to practice or own a private practice. Most of the students who are entering probably already have clinical experience and may already be licensed in the states that they're coming from. So that's not necessarily a further goal. They've already accomplished that. So instead, they'll be applying mostly for faculty positions or for clinical director positions, possibly. Their experience will be above and beyond what a master's level student has because of course, the additional training, advanced theories, advanced leadership and advocacy, research skills, things like that. So that could potentially put them in a higher earning bracket.
And what are the main requirements to apply or to qualify for this program?
Sure. So it is pretty lengthy. I'll say that. Of course, they have to have their initial application for Hood, but then transcripts. So first of all, they have to have completed an advanced degree from an entry-level graduate counseling program, and preference will be given to CACREP accredited programs because, again, in the counseling world, CACREP accreditation is kind of the main gold standard where you want to be. The transcripts should reflect that academic program and all the credits earned. And if the transcripts don't reflect CACREP accreditation status, we encourage applicants to put that in their career's goal statement. They need to have completion of a 60 credit hour of graduate counseling coursework that's necessary for licensure as a professional counselor or school counselor. They don't actually have to be licensed yet if they're coming right out of a master's program, but we want all that coursework kind of checked off. If the advanced degree program is only a 48 credit hour program, which is kind of has been common in the past in counseling, in the counseling world, then the applicants would need to complete those 12 additional credit hours to meet licensure requirements, which they could do at Hood. So candidates have to submit those official transcripts documenting the completion of both undergraduate and graduate degrees, including any supplementary courses to become an LGPC or an LCPC, depending on what your state calls it. So that's just transcripts, right? Next is the resume or CV, a curriculum vitae. Candidates need to submit that resume or CV detailing their counseling related training, work experience, and any scholarship. So any research or presentations they may have done professionally. Then they need a personal statement. It should be an essay of about 2 pages, single spaced. And that essay really helps to supplement the other information that's available to the admissions committee relative to their objectives and why they want this degree. So it should cover things like, of course, personal information and background relevant to doc work and counselor ed, information about why they decided to apply to Hood in particular, strengths and areas of change in relation to the counseling profession. So strengths could be like, what strengths do you have that would contribute to you being a good counselor educator? And change could be things like, what do you believe to be the facets of your personality, behavior, or worldview that if modified or changed would make you an even better person or counselor educator or counselor? What plans, if any, do you have for making such changes? So really areas of growth that you're working on for yourself. And then finally describing professional goals on completion of a doctorate in counselor ed. So how do they see their professional interests matching with those of the faculty at Hood, because of course they're going to be completing a dissertation. We want to make sure that we can really give them the experience that they're looking for in their research agenda or their clinical work. And so how does that all match up, and how does that how can we help them reach whatever goal it is that they have? So that's the personal statement. And then finally, just 3 letters of recommendation that can tell us a little bit about the academics, the applicant's academic and a professional abilities. So the letter should address like their ability to do graduate level academic work, to work in the counseling profession. So at least one person should be really acquainted with their academic potential, and one person should be a supervisor or a trainer who can discuss their counseling skills. And then the third one is a little more open. It can be more of one or the other, or if there's something else that's relevant, they could submit that. So
Okay.
pretty lengthy.
Yeah. And what are your hopes for this new program?
Yeah, I think our hopes are that we can train quality counselors and counselor educators who can become the faculty that they're then go on to train new counselors, right? There's such a need for mental health care, especially right now after COVID. There's, massively increasing rates of depression, anxiety, suicidality. So if we can continue to provide quality people who can help combat all of these concerns, that our mission has really been fulfilled. And that's the goal of providing this program. There's such a need for counselor ed faculty out there, which means that there are counselors waiting to get more training, or counselors in waiting, ready to go, excited about becoming a counselor, but not enough people to train them. And so we want to make sure we can fill that void.
Well, I'm so happy to hear about this new program. I am personally very excited about it, and I'm sure is gonna be very good for new opportunities for the counselors to go forward. I don't know if you have anything else that you would like to add, or any fun fact, or any words of wisdom to encourage people to come and check it out. Anything you would like to add to the conversation?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's really important to mention that while this program is brand new, we're going to be pursuing CACREP accreditation as quickly as the accreditation process will allow. And that will make our candidates even more competitive in the job seeking process. So we're excited about having formed our program around the accreditation standards, and to offer that to potential counselor educators.
Well, good luck with all of this. It has to be a lot of work coming, but I'm sure it's very exciting. Good luck. And I hope a lot of people listen to this podcast, and if they are interested, please reach out. Dr. Shoemaker is amazing, and is a great professor. So yeah, I hope this podcast gets to people to know this about this.
Yeah, me as well. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to A Degree Further, the official podcast of the graduate school at Hood College, where we help you go farther in your life, in your career, and in your community. Be sure to tune in next time and to catch up on all the latest episodes. Visit hood.edu/adegreefurther. I'm your host, Mariana, and thank you so much for listening.